it rolling. Good. Okay, I'm gonna make a Jaffa cheesecake. Need a bit of a plan of attack first. Basic cheesecake. Excuse the drawing. Try to view through this. Biscuit base. Usually digestives. Cream cheese, and then whatever topping. The Jaffa cheesecake. If you look at it side on as it's cut, I think this is going to need to be the Jaffa layer, and then probably in the cheesecake portion, the actual topping, I want some sort of orange / chocolate bits, which seems pretty straightforward. But then when I go a little bit deeper, I start thinking about it a bit more. If we look bird's eye down, this is just the base. Imagine this is the biscuit base that we make. That'll be pretty straightforward. You need to make a decision about whether the Jaffa comes all the way to the edge. So there's two options. The Jaffa comes all the way to the edge, or there's like a perimeter around the edge where this is either some sort of protective layer. If I think about it, there's going to be a few ways where I can put the orange from the Jaffa cake in, where I could, my idea is probably to take the Jaffa cake, right, grab a drawing of Jaffa cake, right, there's the inside here is the circular Jaffa piece of a Jaffa cake. I'm thinking of taking that out, but then if I want to make a flat base of Jaffa, right, a layer of Jaffa, what I'm going to end up doing is like layering them in some way, which will, this is exaggerated, but this is obviously going to be quite raised off the base. So there's the base. So, as they're layered, there's going to be pockets of air in between. I don't want that. So what I thought of was maybe putting the Jaffa pieces into a pot or some hot water, melting it down so it becomes kind of a Jaffa liquid or a jelly, I don't know, and then putting that onto the base. But the problem with that is, going back to this drawing, if it comes all the way to the edge, it might leak. I don't know what the consistency of this is going to be. I think this is probably the better option. So it means that when you look side on, the Jaffa will only come to here, and this will probably be the cream cheese, or maybe that's going to be a bit, maybe I'll raise the base a little bit around the edges to kind of create a lip. It's kind of like that. I think that's probably the option. The rationale for doing this, extracting all of this, is, I've seen recipes online where, you can get leaves of gelatin. You can get these like little, I don't know why I'm drawing this, but you can get these like little leaves of gelatin.
Are we preparing to dance or to do battle?
You can mix it with orange. So I've got some clementines. You can mix them together. You can get the rinds, make an orange jelly and use that. But I think that's a cop-out. That's not a Jaffa cake. If I look at, if you look at the ingredients on a Jaffa cake box, they're very specific. They're made for a certain consistency, which brings up that dilemma about like, do I melt it down? Does that make it a different consistency? But I think if I put it on a low enough heat and just melt it down a little bit, it will eliminate some of those pockets of air and I make it like a solid consistency. So that'll probably be my approach. Now I need to just try and figure out like what's a reasonable amount to put in, and then the second part is, or rather the second and third part is the Jaffa the only piece of the cake / biscuit I'm going to use? Because if we look back at the drawing, or rather, if we take out a Jaffa cake, there's these lovely chocolate bits. Do I peel those bits off and put them on top? Or do I use cooking chocolate and use a different chocolate? Or do I just break these bits up and put it into the cream cheese in here? So it's like little bits of chocolate. The one thing I know I can't use is the sponge. I can't use the base of the Jaffa cake for the base of the cheesecake. It just won't be the right consistency. All right, so have a bit of a plan of attack. Base is going to be standard digestives, maybe chocolate digestives. I might just keep it simple. Just use normal digestives. Normal cream cheese with probably the tops of the Jaffa cakes broken up and mixed in to give it a little bit of flavour both. I'll try and salvage enough of these that I have some for the top. The actual Jaffa filling will be comprised of the Jaffa innards of the biscuits, melted down a little bit and lathered in. I think when they're melted down, they'll stick to the base pretty well, and so it'll give that same kind of, you know, when you open up a Jaffa cake, they're kind of stuck to the base. Yeah, I think that's my plan. First time going at it, I'm not going to overcomplicate it, but those are things I had to think of ahead of time. So I'm going to give it a shot. Have all the shit here. I'm a little helper who's not going to help. So we'll give it a go.
Things will not calm down, Daniel Jackson. They will, in fact, calm up.
Okay, base is pretty straightforward. Got about maybe 50 grams still versus about 15 or so. Extra biscuits in. Use the butt end of a rolling pin. Some people put it in a Ziploc bag and bash it. Over the last couple of weeks, I found that this is like an easier way to just get the right consistency. You want to be like, I want to have a few chunks, but not loads. A few like thicker bits. It doesn't need to be all smooth. A little bit of inconsistency is okay. So yeah, break them up and like this. Put it in the tin mix it up with some sugar, some butter, put it in the tin, mash it down, make that little lip, and then put the Jaffa in.
I am not Lucy.
Takes a little bit, but you know. Right there.
Are you conducting some sort of scientific experiment on you?
Use the backside of this ladle to kind of press the middle lower. Push it into the sides. Try and create a little lip. Ooh, falling over. Well, so this will go in the fridge. Let it chill. It needs to get chilled to, I guess, accept the base of the Jaffa innards. So there's no real time pressure on getting the Jaffa stuff done. On the joys of cheesecake.
I would prefer not to consume bovine lactose at any temperature.
There we go. So hard to see, but I've kind of made it a little bit raised around the edges. So hopefully, you know, if I melt it down, I don't know how much Jaffa I'm going to get out with this. Like, I might not even have enough to cover the whole thing. I've only got 20 biscuits. I think it's about 20. Yeah, 20 cakes. But at least it'll allow for like a center. That's, I guess, a bit of a surprise when you cut into it. But yeah, cover that over, put it in the fridge, let it chill. Then we'll do the Jaffa stuff. What do you think, Wally? Will it come out okay? Doesn't give a shit. Alright, into the fridge somewhere. Been there for about an hour, I'd say. Okay, got a little surgical workstation. Okay, so what I could do is I could just cut them straight down the middle and peel it, but I think the chocolate would just crack. Not that I care too much, but I don't know. I find the idea of like trying to surgically remove the Jaffa cake Jaffa center while keeping it in one piece is just like a little bit more appealing. I don't know if that's like ASMR or like some OCD, or maybe it's just, I think it'd be a cool thing to try and do. So I'm gonna try and capture all of them here. So we'll take out the jelly bits, put them in that bowl, and then we'll try and melt them down. And I'll try and, I don't know, maybe I'll hold on to the sponge bits for something, or maybe I'll just eat them or feed them to Wally. They got really bored. Right, phone is balancing on top of 2 clementines there. This might be stupid. I can feel it detaching from the sponge. Okay. Bit of leverage. And pop. Okay, so at least the chocolate bit has come off easily. It's not really what I need though. I think maybe I might be forced into just breaking it. I'll try it. It's too hard to tell where the edge of the Jaffa is. I also woefully overestimated how much is in each one. It might mean that innard is quite thin. Okay, if I could jole it like this around the edges. Yeah, it's not really working the way I thought. Oh, maybe. I'm kind of piercing the jelly. Which I guess doesn't really matter because it'll boil down. Okay, yeah, it comes away. Okay, that works. That's the way to do it. Okay, put the jelly, got the chocolate bits, so we can salvage both. One down. Ready to go. Okay, can brute force it a little bit more. They come out pretty easily. Too delicious not to. Okay. A stack of these, not quite 20. Some of them may have gotten all cold and eaten. Very last one. Gotten quite precise with this military precision. Just applied it all the way through. Space off. Easy. So this is all of the jelly we got. It's not actually a whole lot. Lots of these chocolate hats. I feel like the sponge might cause some problems with the jelly. Not so much in these, because I can break these up and put it within the cream cheese. I feel like if I melt that down. And again, I'm still worried about the consistency. You know, if I layered these on top of each other, the gap, let me just see. I'll just use this as a fake cake. I'm sure many
Bobby.
tax or inland revenue people would argue with that. Yeah, there is an air pocket there. Although, like, who would care? And I will have to try and maximize area coverage. So they may be placed adjacent as opposed to layered. Maybe I do that kind of a thing. Okay, so as a test, I'm going to sacrifice one jelly disc. I put a small bit of water in there, just because, I mean, that's how you make jelly. You put it in hot water, you let it boil, or not boil, it's hot water, jelly melts down into it, and then it sets. Again, I don't want to change the consistency too much, but I also don't think that if I put that into a pot, that I'm going to be able to take it out of the pot. I think it's just going to become jam. So a little bit of water might just help to kind of unjam it. Keep temperature low. Moment of truth. Put that way up.
We are, in fact, offering water.
So it's not really turned into what I thought it might. But one thing that I did realise is that just that little bit of water removed any of the sponge bits from the jelly. So what I might do is abandon the melting. Maybe add a little bit of water to remove all the spongy bits so it becomes just a jelly layer, and a jelly and sponge layer. Looks kind of gross with the light, but they looked delicious in real life. So yeah, gonna abandon that. Yeah, just get rid of the spongy bits. Okay, so I didn't abandon it. Tiny little bit of heat and a tiny drop of water. You can kind of see they spread a little bit, so they thin out a little bit, so they'll make more of a smooth base. Now for these things, so I might take half of them and break them up, maybe even more, maybe most of them, break them up, add them into the cream cheese, so they give a bit more of a chocolatey taste, obviously, to the cream cheese, but also I have this dark chocolate, orange and almond chocolate that I'll probably break up into little pieces, add it in as well, add a bit more of an orange texture, because I don't want it to be completely just like a Jaffa cake with cream cheese in it. And then I've got clementines to grate over the top. So yeah, get working on that. The cream cheese is coming to room temperature, which is the best way to have it. I found two. Ooh, oh, it's boiling. That was too hot. Ooh, I can smell the jelly. I found that 2 pots of Philadelphia and 1 of mascarpone. That's worked well for one of the recent cheesecakes I made, so I'm going to stick with that.
Indeed.
Yeah, bit of trial and error for everything. This is version 1.0 or 0.1, I guess. So I'll take the base out. Hasn't been in there for too long, but it'll be setting. The Jaffa will be setting. The Jaffa jelly will be setting with it. So I kind of want both to go simultaneously. I'll cool this down in a little pot of water. Just put the pot in the cold water. I'll cool the pot down, which should cool the jelly down.
Isn't that hot?
Extremely.
Doing this near the sink just in case I burn the shit out of my hands. Yeah, here goes. See how this comes out. Okay. I need both hands. Okay, yeah, so really underestimated how much space I'd need to cover with the jelly. So for the next version I'll probably need 4 packs of Jaffa Cakes to get that much. But it's okay. Doesn't need to be a crazy amount of jelly in there. The idea will be good, and hopefully some of that will permeate down through the base and up through the cream cheese to at least give the flavour, if not the full jelly texture all the way through. Right, cream cheese, pretty straightforward. Philadelphia, mascarpone, bit of icing sugar, whip together with a fork, then whisk it. So I'll whip that together. Pretty simple. Foam between the chin. Yeah, I got your cheese.
Where's my cheese?
Alright, so there's the main body of the cheesecake made. I used about half of these, so half of the tops and half of the chocolate orange, the actual bar. Actually about 3/4 of that, and that should give a good chocolatey orangey taste, but not too overpowering. I was debating putting some actual orange zest in, and I think I might just use that for decoration on top rather than really overpowering it. The jelly will be there inside. Hey buddy. The jelly will be there. That'll give the taste. Bit of the chocolate orange. These guys kind of chopped up or put decoratively on top. I don't know. That may or may not happen. Yeah, we'll put that on, see how it goes. Because the jelly is set in, it's stuck to the base really, really well. It's really sticky, which is perfect. Just wish I had about twice the amount. Wooden spoon. Scoop this on, slather it around, press it up against the edges. Let them set for, at least about 5 or 6 hours. maybe overnight, and then come back to it tomorrow. So as I look at this, some people who actually make cheesecake, I don't know, for a living or professionally for the Olympics. They might be like, having all these chocolate chunks in the cheesecake is blasphemy, but fuck off. Like, it's my cheesecake, I'll make it whatever I want. So, you know, suck a dick. Alright, probably should have saved these to put these on later, but, you know, I wanted to kind of see what it'd look like. It doesn't look amazing, but, you know, again, it's my cheesecake. Fuck you. That one didn't look too good. Took it out. Yeah, whatever. Put it in the fridge, come back to it in 6 hours. Okay. It's dense. Hard to see it. Thin layer. Yeah, jelly's in there. That's good.
I have my mojo back.